Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel for another video. This video has been a long time coming. I am so excited to finally have it out for you guys and to be able to share what I've been up to for the past month, or what we have done around our place in the past month. So when we moved into our house, there was a rather large, to me, garden plot. And I say to me because to most people in our area, this is probably a pretty medium, maybe even small-sized garden, but it is massive to what I'm used to. So when we moved in, there was a garden plot, but it was so overgrown, and so we had a lot of work to do if we wanted to turn this into a garden. So Nelson was able to borrow a tiller from his dad, and so we got it tilled up. It was such a nice tiller to break up all the weeds, and we weren't sure how it was gonna go. And as you can see when we're planting, there still was a lot of kind of like, I'm just gonna call it hay, laying on top, just all the weeds that kind of like died and or were, you know, tossed up, whatever. But it was so nice and really cut down on our work, obviously, because it was such an overgrown garden patch. So we went to work planting our garden, and I will give you guys a close-up look a little bit later in the video. But this is such a new thing for me. Nelson grew up with his family having a garden, and my family had what I'm going to call like a hobby garden. So we'd eat a little bit of fresh things here and there throughout the summer, but I really don't remember doing a lot of work with my mom out in the garden, and we definitely did not do a lot of food preservation from our garden, and we did not grow it for that purpose. And so this type of garden where we're growing for our winter food storage, I guess you could say, is so new to me, and I was so grateful to have Nelson's help. He did so much. I think honestly I was more just like asking him, what can I do to help, because he really like did the majority of the hard work in this garden, from planting out the rows to making sure they were straight, to like so many different things. But it was so much fun to be able to work with him and kind of figure out what we're doing, start setting up our very first garden that we're doing as a family. And I am so excited to show you guys what it looks like now a little later on in the video. So I am super excited to finally be able to show you guys our garden. It felt like it took a little bit for it to kind of come together, and obviously it's still a process, but all the seeds that we planted are finally up, and so today I'm gonna give you guys a little garden tour. I am hoping that the traffic noise from the road is not too bad. Yeah, kind of just can't get away from that, so hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully we can do a walkthrough together. Thought that would be a little bit more fun than just doing voiceovers. You guys actually get to come see it with me. So I showed you guys kind of the start of tilling the garden. This garden has sat for probably at least 2 years, if not more. And I don't have hardly any experience with gardening, but from Nelson's experience and with him tilling it, he definitely thinks that it is pretty dry as far as nutrients go. So we are really going to be trying to take care of the soil and give it some nutrients and just a good boost so we can grow some great things in our garden. So we got it all tilled. We went and picked out our seeds and plants. We tried to go with more plants because it was about the end of May when we got our garden in, and I'm filming this about 3 weeks later. Everything has like shot up, possibly 4 weeks, I'm not sure, but everything has shot up like crazy for which I am so grateful. So anyhow, we got everything in. We even got some things in that I was not planning on planting, or that we weren't planning on planting. Some things are gonna be trial and error as new gardeners, or especially me as a new gardener, very much a beginner. I know we're gonna have some things that don't work out, and that's okay. That's part of this gardening process. But all that being said, I'm gonna give you guys a tour. So what we have done most recently is we decided to try to do a no-till garden, or a no-dig garden, and it might be not perfect. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I am relying on a lot of knowledge from friends and some family members, and I know that this being the first year for us to do a garden at this house, you know, who knows how it'll go. Maybe it'll go awful, we'll see. So anyways, what we did most recently is we kind of did like a practical side and an aesthetic side for a no-till. Nelson loves like the clean lines along the edge of the garden, and I mean I do too, but he takes care of mowing and stuff. And so we went ahead and put in a wood chip like a border around our garden, just to give it such a pretty clean look. And since we're not tilling, you know, we're not gonna be tilling all the way out to that. Well, we're not tilling at all, but typically we just till all the way out to the perimeter and keep a nice clean perimeter. So we put in wood chips for aesthetics. It looks really, really pretty. And then we actually covered our entire garden in compost. So hopefully that's gonna help to keep our weeds down. And if you know anything about no-till, no-dig gardens, you don't use a tiller, or you try to dig in them or disturb the soil the least amount possible. So that is part of the reasoning behind putting the compost on the garden. That's gonna help keep weeds down, because you don't want to have a lot of weeding to do. Obviously, if you're not tilling, you're not gonna be tilling in all the weeds. And so I am probably gonna have to go through and like hand pick out some weeds, which is fine. And if you guys are no-till gardeners, you can give me all your tips down below. I would absolutely love that, as we are so brand new to this. So now that I've kind of given you guys a little bit of like what we're doing, where we're at, I'm gonna take you over and give you guys like a tour, show you what we planted, and kind of, yeah, show you what's going on in our garden. I'm so excited to head over to the garden and give you guys a little bit of a tour, but before I do, I wanted to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's video is Temu, and I'm excited to be working with them again because, as you guys know, and it has finally hit me, summer is in full swing. I think now that we're doing all the outside summer stuff, it really feels like summer, but I was wanting to stock up on some things for our busy summer, and so I want to take a minute, show you guys what those things are, and tell you guys a little bit more about Temu. So if you're new to Temu and you've never heard of them before, Temu is an online marketplace that functions a lot like Amazon. It has a huge variety of products, from like home things, decor things, kitchen things, vacationing things, which is something that I have found so handy in prepping for this summer, clothing and shoes, just such a wide variety of products for things that you need throughout your daily life. They have such affordable prices and, like I said, such a wide variety of categories, and they're constantly running sales and have coupons and deals going so that you can save money on things that you need, especially for this upcoming season for this summer. Temu offers free shipping and free returns for up to 90 days, which is great because if you receive something and it doesn't work out like you hoped, you can always start a return with them, and it's great to know that that return is free. It's not going to cost you. Right now, you can download the Temu app, and Temu is giving away $100 worth of coupons for free. So you can download their app and enter my code to get a chance at some coupons, especially if you are placing a big order. I know this comes in handy because I recently stocked up on just a variety of different things that I want for these upcoming summer months to have on hand for like vacations or getaways or that type of thing, with all the busyness of summer that is here basically right now. Some of my favorite summer things that I've been able to purchase from Temu for this upcoming summer is a very durable and cute beach bag. I don't know if that's technically what it's called, but that's what we're gonna be using it for, or for clothes when we are going away to swim. This bag is super durable, it's great for outdoors, it's waterproof, and I have already enjoyed using it so many times just for the kids, like swim stuff or changes of clothes, as we are going away quite a bit this summer, and it holds so much. I can pack changes of clothes for our entire family, so 2 adults and 2 children, still have room to spare. And I've also been pairing it with one of Temu's water bottles. They have the reusable vacuum tumblers that are such a great Stanley dupe. I do have one like more costly vacuum tumbler, but sometimes I like to change up the color or the style, and I was so pleasantly surprised with Temu's quality on their tumblers. So it's kind of fun just to have one that matches my bag, one for go away, to change it up just with the change of seasons, not to mention super inexpensive and not like dropping $50 on one water bottle like you can in other places. Along with the summer comes lots of fun outdoor parties and things like that. And so I also grabbed myself 2 new dresses from Temu, and neither one of them are maternity dresses, but they both work really well and have such a cute summer flair to them. Along with that, I added to my cart a pair of sandals for this upcoming summer. I love having like the sandals that aren't super casual, kind of like a dressy casual mix. And I love being able to snag a couple things for upcoming parties and events all at one spot. Along with things that are great for summer, Temu also has some great staple items. They offer such a wide range of decor and cute practical items. I know there's been some things that I've been looking for a while, one of them being a propagation stand, and Temu has so many cute options for that. You all know how I love my houseplants, and with summer I've been wanting to start some new plants that I can then pot and either give away as gifts or put at different places in my home, so having a propagation stand is really nice. And not to mention that Temu's is so cute, and I love things that are practical but look cute as well. Another thing that has been coming in so handy for all of our summer plans is my acrylic magnetic refrigerator planner boards. I love the different styles and designs that Temu offers of these, and it has been so handy to have something cute that sticks on the fridge that I can write out our week-to-week things that need to be done, or meal plan, or kind of keep track of our calendar, a place where the whole family can see it so everyone knows what's going on. These were so inexpensive for a really practical tool to use in our house this summer with all our crazy plans, and I'm so glad that I snagged them because they have been put to such good use already in just a little bit of time that I've had them. I'm gonna leave a link for Temu down in the description box. Be sure to check out their website, and if you have a mobile device, download their app because they have so many great deals, great savings going on right now. They have a summer sale coming up here in July. Be sure to check out all the details of that, especially like I said, if you're needing to stock up on some things, or if you're even thinking ahead into the start of fall. Be sure to check out their sales that are going on because I know you can snag some great items for super inexpensive. And thanks again, Temu, for sponsoring this portion of the video. So here is a close-up of our garden, and sorry, it's a little bit windy outside, but everything that we planted is coming up, which is awesome, and possibly some weeds too, we'll see. But I'm gonna start down here, show you guys kind of what we're doing. So we started at that end, planting, and this is a massive garden for me, but it's probably more on the small to medium size for a lot of people. So anyhow, so down here are kind of extra things. We ended up putting in almost 3 rows of strawberries, so these won't be ready for this year, but hopefully, Lord willing, next year we'll have a nice berry patch of strawberries. And I found some super cheap cabbage plants marked way down at a store, so we put in a couple of those just for kicks, and a couple lettuce, which it looks like the rabbits are getting to, so we're gonna have to figure something out for that. and some broccoli, which the rabbits are also getting to. But these were all some really cheap plants that I was not planning on planting. So they're just an experiment, which is totally fine. Here you guys can kind of see like the wood chip perimeter and what it looks like up close. But anyways, so kind of moving up in our garden, we have corn, and this is kind of a funny story. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit why the corn looks the way it does, especially that row. So we were planning on doing 2, maybe 3 rows of corn. So we got 1 pack of seeds, and 5 rows later, we were so tired of doing corn that we just like put multiple seeds in, because we hand planted these, put multiple seeds in for this last row. So we need to go through and thin the row. But we are gonna have so much sweet corn this year, which I'm so super grateful for. We'll end up freezing quite a bit and possibly giving to friends and family and all that kind of good stuff, which is such a fun part of having a garden. So let's move down here. These rows are kind of just coming up. So these 5 rows, we didn't realize we had another one here, so we actually put compost on top of it, and it's growing up through the compost. So anyhow, these 5 rows are potatoes. So we are gonna have potatoes to put away for winter to can. We love potatoes, and I wanted to make sure we had enough so that I didn't have to buy. And potatoes, from what Nelson tells me, can really, like, depending on, they can be finicky depending on how deep you plant them in the ground and how much coverage they have. So you see some of these that are very slow to come up, and that's probably because they were either covered too much with soil or planted too deeply. So they're not super uniform, but hey, it's one of those things that you learn as you go along. You kind of learn how to get better at it. But nonetheless, we still have potatoes coming up, which makes me super happy. So yeah, 5 rows of potatoes. And then moving down here, this is a row of green beans, and these were seeds as well. Well, the potatoes were like sprouted potatoes. The sweet corn was seeds. The green beans here were seeds. And they are just coming up gorgeous. I'm so excited to have so many beans. Here we have limas, and they were seeds as well. They're coming up. Over here in this row, it's a little bit weedy, and because some of the seeds are taking a while to sprout, I've been just carefully trying to go through and weed it, because it was not sprouted when we put the compost on. But half of the row is actually going to be leeks, and then the other half down there is red beets, and the red beets are coming up nice. The leeks are coming up, but they're pretty slow. So that's what that row is. And then moving up here, we have 2 rows of onions, which I am so excited for. They were like tiny little sprouts or plants, but they are coming up so nice. And then everything over here was plants. We have 4 zucchini plants right here, and then in this row we have 2 different kinds of peppers, and this row we have 2 different kinds of tomatoes, which, yes, we need to stake the tomatoes. That is on the to-do list for this week, but I wanted to get you guys this garden video out because it's getting later and later in the season, and I was so excited to show you what we've been up to. So we're gonna be staking those. Down here, we tried to plant watermelon, and I don't know how it's gonna do. This tree gives a lot of shade, and I think it's too much for the watermelon. So note to self for next year, don't put watermelon down here. And then down there, we have pickles or cucumbers for pickles. So that's what those 4 plants are. We were definitely trying not to go too overboard this year, especially having a baby due in September. That's like peak harvest season for so many things, especially when you plant a late garden. So we're doing very practical things, but I'm so excited to have all this fresh food to preserve and put away. I am so excited to be just doing something new this year and finally be able to have a garden of our own. I know it's gonna be a big learning process, but I think it will be just great for not only us, for also our kids. We did plant a couple other things in different areas that are not in the garden. We have some rhubarb that was actually here at the property before we moved in, and so we transplanted it and it's doing great. We also have some tea that we planted, which hopefully will grow pretty good. And we also planted 2 raspberry bushes. So that's gonna be some exciting things, especially for next year. Also, we have a grapevine as well that was here at the property. So that is looking like it's going to have a high yield this year, or at least what I would consider a good yield. So that's gonna be something else we have that's not in the garden. But I am so excited for all these fresh things. And I'm sure next year we will probably plant even more, but this felt like a really good start for this year, especially since I am new to so much of this process. I felt like if we did something manageable and things that we could use and know that we will use, then it doesn't feel like we're biting off more than we can chew. So with that being said, that kind of brings a conclusion to my garden tour. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with us for this video. It's been stretched out over a little bit of time, but I wanted to show you guys kind of the whole process until things started coming up, and now that they are growing so well, I'm just thrilled about it. So I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated in videos, and I'm sure you will see so much like food preservation, that kind of stuff. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for coming along with me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of seeing a little bit of what we've been up to with our garden and outdoors. I would love it if you are new here, if you would stick around and subscribe. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and you're not subscribed, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out. I am putting out a lot of content that is new to me with outdoor things and gardening and like kind of small homesteader type things that we're doing. And so I would love to bring you guys along for the ride, and hopefully you guys enjoy coming along with me. I'm gonna get going because we have got a full day today. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye guys.